Fauci admits administration has restricted his media appearances, says he's not surprised Trump got COVID. They've replaced him with Dr. Scott Atlas, a neuroradiologist, without meaningful experience in infectious diseases. Why? Because this guy, in direct contradiction to the CDC and the rest of Trump's advisors, continues to espouse nonsense such as his recently deleted tweet stating masks work? No. https://www. endnews.com/politics/Donald Trump/Twitter removes tweet top Trump COVID advisor saying masks don N1243841, SID equals SM_NPD_MS_FB_MA and FGLID equals IWAR2BZB7H82VG5Z/BGXIRLPQ6UOX_NQVYWKPUFVEOACMR12D9 Trump basically found a doctor that agrees with him rather than listen to actual experts. Where did Trump find this guy? Fox News. Atlas was a frequent guest on Fox News, where he pushed to reopen the country and espoused views that more closely align with Trump's opinions during the health crisis. https://www.endnews.org. com/news/local/who is Scott Atlas Trump's new coronavirus task force advisor /2639790/ 98 immunologists from Stanford signed a letter calling out Atlas falsehoods and misrepresentations of science as it pertains to COVID-19. https://www. Insight hired. com/news/2020/09/23/ Scott Atlas White House advisor coronavirus threatens sue colleagues back Stanford, Atlas threatened to sue them. This is probably the most political I've seen Fauci since the pandemic started. I feel like he is staring down Trump, just daring Trump to fire him with less than 3 weeks left to the election. Fauci can keep publicly criticizing Trump and his administration, and if Trump gives into his impulses and fires him, the shitstorm that will fall on the Trump administration could be a huge negative impact on Trump's re-election bid. In Fauci I trust. Do you ever think Trump supporters have brief moments of clarity where they think, my God, I'm at odds with all of these journalists and scientists and educators and doctors and economists. It seems like I'm fighting with them about everything, even things I might have agreed with them about 4 years ago. Maybe the apprentice guy doesn't know more than all of these people about their fields of expertise. Maybe he's the one who actually doesn't know what he's talking about. Fauci knows he is bulletproof on this one. Firing Fauci will be his political demise, so Fauci knows he can say whatever he wants on this one. Especially since Trump did get COVID and it's directly because he did not follow Fauci's orders. Dr. Fauci likely expected to work with the government and not against the government in the event of a pandemic. Fauci is dropping bombs lately. He must be so sick and tired of this administration. Who isn't? Best part is, he basically can't be fired. My mother had her first virtual appointment with her nephrologist back in April when COVID was first gaining national traction in the US. I vividly recall him telling my mother the most important thing we need to do is follow Dr. Fauci's lead through this. I'm so thankful for physicians that truly care for their patients. Is anyone surprised Trump got COVID? Just a friendly reminder that Fauci can't be wholesale fired by Trump. He's in a special class of senior federal employees that can only be fired for cause, and a few other things I think, but the short version is, he literally can't be removed or he would have been already. Imagine hating Fauci because he calls out your cult's bullshit. Dr. Anthony Fauci, no, when you find out you're wrong, it's a manifestation of your honesty to say, hey, I was wrong. I did subsequent experiments and now it's this way. Wow, what a concept, admitting mistakes and growing from them. Vote. Don't be grouchy, trust Dr. Fauci. Imagine dedicating your adult life to being an infectious disease expert and one of the most respected expert in the world, and then you're muzzled by a game show host who conned people into voting for him. This is the decline of America. I'm surprised Trump can even tie his shoes, Fauci thought to himself. I can't imagine having all of my degrees and professional achievements shat on by a president and his administration. They started even excluding him from briefings months ago. I'm sure, just like Nancy Pelosi, he didn't even find out dear leader had COVID until the media reported. He's constantly been against the way they have handled this, and they used his statements from the beginning when scientists didn't know what would affect transmission, and twisted his words months later to act like he still believed masks were not necessary. This administration is despicable in their use of the media. But what do you expect of a reality television star? You know that one doctor who has a ton of experience with infectious diseases and numerous awards with a career spanning decades? Let's muzzle him because his words don't match our narrative that the virus will magically go away if we do the absolute bare minimum in preventative measures. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Here, https://youtube.b/ssillfgt9gg, the interviewer asks his wife, you see a side of Dr. Fauci that no one else does. What frustrates him? The fact that he has to keep reiterating the same message over and over and over to people, and either they don't understand or they don't follow it. I think he shares our frustration. Actively denying life-saving information. Actively encouraging armed protests. Admits to using death squads. Says he will flee the country if not re-elected. Was anyone surprised when Trump got COVID? Fauci telling it like it is. He is such an amazing guy. Folks coming out and saying red wave, but they don't realize that a red wave means there's blood in the water, and with over 210,000 people dead, the irony is completely lost on them. Watched him in 60 Minutes tonight. It was a great piece. His wife spoke also. His family has been harassed. Part of society is truly disturbed to instill hatred towards someone who is trying to protect them and wants nothing but good health for them. Imagine our country has a pro-science administration? That would be fire. Fauci has some pretty crazy conspiracy theorists opposing him. I'm glad he is speaking up about how poorly our administration handled the COVID outbreak. He is a good guy, and I think he should be trusted. He is one of the top doctors in the world. Do his supporters even bother to watch science-backed shows such as 60 Minutes? No, of course not. They believe what he said in the town hall, that 85% of people who wear masks still get COVID. That's no different than a male prostitute from saying I don't need to wear a condom. Even Bush helped to fight against the AIDS crisis. Trump states it's almost over, as rates spike to astronomical levels because his supporters refuse to wear a mask. Fauci, please cure the insanity that is this admin. Most frustrated essential worker of the year. Sickening and sad. These folks rather see folks die for power. Insane. I hope the next administration, Biden, keep him on as the top health expert. It would really grind Trump's gears to see him still regularly on TV giving good advice and being admired and respected, when Trump's not. Imagine suppressing media appearances for the head scientist of the response team. I feel bad for Fauci. He's trying his damnedest, but this administration is completely inept. Fauci, one of the few people who know what the fuck they are doing. Love that man. Dr. Fauci was straight spittin' in this interview and I loved it. Deservedly the most trusted man in America. Please, vote Trump out. We need an administration that's honest and believes and trusts medical professionals. How has he not been fired? I've never seen someone in the administration speak out against Trump this much and not be fired. I live in the neighborhood Dr. Fauci grew up in. My grandparents actually used to go to the pharmacy his family owned. Out of the whole place I've seen one sign in someone's window saying thank you Dr. Fauci. Unfortunately, this area is full of Trump supporters / barely anyone wears a mask, and it's sad because I'm so proud to say I live here now because of this man. I just wish everyone else was too. It makes me sad that this man has been treated the way he has. He's just trying to keep us safe. Jesus.